She thought it was just a wrong number, an anonymous text sent to the wrong person. But when Sarah Mitchell opened the message on her phone, her heart sank. The screen displayed a photo she didn't remember taking, one that could ruin her life if it ever got out. Panic set in immediately as another message arrived, a simple demand to comply, or the image would go public. Her fingers trembled as she stared at the text, realizing it wasn't just a prank. She tried calling the sender, but there was no response, only more threats. Sarah's mind raced, replaying every decision she had made that could have led to this moment. She felt exposed, vulnerable, and alone. The blackmailer seemed to know everything, every small mistake, every hidden secret. The city outside her window felt colder, darker, threatening in a way it never had before. Each notification made her flinch, every vibration a potential threat. By the end of the night, Sarah understood that her life would never be the same. The nightmare had only just begun, and there was no turning back. Everyone has secrets, some darker than others, and some are worth killing for. Sarah's attempts to understand who was behind the messages led her to confide in her best friend, Lisa, hoping for guidance. But as she spoke, she realized the blackmailer knew things that only someone extremely close could have known. Old memories from college, forgotten mistakes she had buried deep, resurfaced and made her shiver. Every decision she made in the past suddenly seemed dangerous, every casual encounter a potential threat. The blackmailer's messages became more detailed, more personal, revealing intimate knowledge about her routines, her relationships, even her home. Sarah's career in marketing, which she had worked tirelessly to build, suddenly felt fragile, easily destroyed by one careless revelation. She spent sleepless nights planning her next steps, each one more desperate than the last. The line between caution and paranoia blurred as she realized that nothing she did could fully shield her from the person who seemed to be orchestrating every moment of her life. The pressure mounted, and with every passing hour, the stakes grew higher. One desperate decision can change everything, and Sarah's first attempt to fight back ended in disaster. She tried to comply with the blackmailer's demand, hoping to pay them off quietly and regain some control. But the instructions were traps, leading to exposure rather than protection. Soon, her personal information was leaking in small but terrifying ways, making her life a daily struggle against humiliation and fear. At work, she noticed glances that weren't there before, whispered conversations that seemed to include her. She began to suspect everyone around her, every smile potentially hiding malice. At home, she double-checked locks and alarms, yet still felt watched. Then came the video, a recording proving that the blackmailer had eyes on her at every moment, in her apartment, on the street, even at her favorite cafe. Her sense of safety evaporated entirely, replaced by an unrelenting dread. Each attempt to fix one problem only created another, and Sarah realized that every move she made might be anticipated and exploited. She felt trapped, caught in a web she hadn't even known existed, and the nightmare she had feared was now inescapable. Who can you trust when everyone is a suspect? Sarah's paranoia escalated as she suspected coworkers, friends, and even her partner. Conversations felt loaded, glances felt threatening, and every casual interaction became a potential trap. She began secretly monitoring messages and phone calls, trying to uncover a pattern or clue that could reveal the blackmailer. Despite her efforts, the threats continued, each one carefully designed to test her resolve and her sense of judgment. Meanwhile, her professional life began to suffer. Deadlines were missed, presentations faltered, and her normally confident demeanor cracked under the pressure. A mysterious tip led her to an unexpected discovery, something that hinted at the blackmailer's identity, but it also brought more questions than answers. Her attempts to investigate alone left her vulnerable, and she began to feel the crushing weight of isolation. Friends and family, meant to be sources of support, now seemed distant or potentially involved. Sarah realized that solving this nightmare would require courage and strategy, yet every step forward felt perilous. Every decision mattered, and one mistake could make her worst fears reality. Every move she makes could be her last. The blackmailer's threats escalated from digital manipulation to real-world intimidation, leaving Sarah constantly looking over her shoulder. She narrowly avoided a dangerous encounter on the street, realizing the person was willing to go far beyond messages and videos to control her. The line between online terror and physical danger blurred, and Sarah's every decision became a careful balancing act between survival and defiance. In desperation, she turned to digital forensics, trying to track her tormentor without giving away her location or identity. Yet every effort was countered, her every plan anticipated and dismantled. Sleep became a distant memory, and every small sound at night triggered panic. She realized that fighting back required not just intelligence but courage, and that even then, victory might not be guaranteed. The blackmailer's power over her life was growing, and the reality of facing someone who seemed to know everything about her was suffocating. In this high-stakes game, Sarah's instincts and resourcefulness would be tested to their absolute limits. The past she buried is about to bury her. Sarah uncovered the motive behind the blackmail. Revenge for a long-forgotten incident during college, a momentary lapse in judgment that had hurt someone deeply. As memories resurfaced, she understood the depth of the consequences she had never imagined. The blackmailer's knowledge of her life, her routines, and her choices made sense, but it did not make facing it any easier. Panic was replaced by determination. She needed to understand every detail of her past to anticipate the next move. Flashbacks revealed secrets she had never shared, mistakes she had hoped would remain hidden, and relationships she had underestimated. The blackmailer's final threats hinted at a catastrophic exposure, one that could ruin her socially, financially, and emotionally. Sarah's life had become a chessboard, and every piece had a hidden risk. Realizing that running was no longer an option, she began to prepare, seeking ways to confront the past and stop the blackmailer before her life was completely destroyed. The stakes had never been higher, and failure was not an option. Face to face with the person who wants everything you have, Sarah arranged a risky in-person meeting, determined to end the nightmare. Heart racing, she entered the designated location, every step echoing her fear and anticipation. The blackmailer revealed their identity, but the revelation was shocking. Someone she trusted deeply, someone she had never suspected. Betrayal twisted in her chest as explanations surfaced, justifications that barely masked resentment and long-harbored anger. The confrontation escalated as a second party appeared, a complicating factor that changed everything. Threats, manipulations, and revelations collided in a tense standoff. Sarah realized that navigating this confrontation required not just courage but cunning, understanding motives, and manipulating perceptions to survive. As the tension reached its peak, she made a decisive move that could either free her from the nightmare or doom her entirely. Every instinct, every decision, every revelation combined in a climactic moment where the outcome remained uncertain, leaving her and the audience on the edge of their seat. Some secrets can't stay hidden, but some people can't survive them. After the confrontation, the fallout was immediate and devastating. Careers were ruined, friendships fractured, and public scandal erupted as the blackmailer's identity became known. Sarah faced the consequences of her past, but she also discovered the power of resilience, determination, and moral courage. She had navigated manipulation, threats, and betrayal, but the moral choice she now faced could define the rest of her life. Would she expose the full truth, risking further damage, or find a way to reclaim her life without total destruction? The final moments were tense, emotional, and revealing, as Sarah realized that survival was about more than avoiding exposure. It was about reclaiming agency in a world determined to strip it away. In the end, she walked away scarred but stronger, having faced a nightmare that tested every facet of her identity, leaving the audience with lingering suspense, reflection, and awe.